Hey everyone, hope you're doing well on a Monday, start of the week. As we've promoted on the page over the weekend, this is the start of our 7-day in-depth and look into men's mental health by people who've experienced it or are experiencing it. So for 7 days now, every day, myself, another man, male, sorry not man, it could be a boy, we can upload videos just to show you exactly what their personal dealings were. Everyone's got the same sort of questions, but obviously we're all going to go off in different directions with it, with how we dealt with it. Some videos are short, some videos are long, and they're all unedited videos. We're all just sat in our own homes with our phones. So yeah, it's as real as it's going to get, really. I'm starting off today by going through it. First question will be, what was my dealing with mental health and how it made me feel? Then I'll go into how my dealings with mental health affected my relationships with family, my wife, my co-workers, and how that made me feel as well. And then lastly whether I think a support group would have benefited me or not, because it may not benefit everybody. So I'm going to start off obviously with my dealings with mental health. Obviously I know I've done a brief description in my last video, guys, so if I do repeat myself, then sorry. This is going to be more in depth and exactly how I was feeling, my memories from the situation and everything. So my first dealings with mental health issues came just after my mother passed away. It affected me quite badly at the time, not initially, but after a period of time I suffered badly with depression, and it still affects me now to a degree. You know, I'm not depressed now. I'm in a good place, really good place at the moment, but obviously there's certain times of the year or there's certain parts of your life where you want your mother there, so those sort of times can bring me down for a day or two, but again I can come back around from that, so it doesn't affect me on a day-to-day basis anymore. The biggest memory I have from the time is the night my mother passed away. My mother was in hospital after having a stroke. I had a phone call while I was in bed the one night, and I told my father I had to go over to the hospital in Prince Charles. So I shot over there driving like an idiot, as you probably would yourselves. And I come out of the car park, started racing across, and then we used to go down the old steps. I could see my dad, and I could see in his face that it was bad. I just knew, and I just looked at him and I knew straight away what it was. And the amount of people who said in my past, where their legs go, I've never experienced it before, I never have since, but at the time my legs just went. Lucky enough there was a banner on the side, I should grab hold of that, otherwise I'd have been in hospital myself, probably broken nose fall on my face. But that's a really vivid memory for you up here. It sticks with me really, really badly, but it doesn't affect me. It's just a memory that I have. But again, it doesn't affect me anymore like it used to. The early part after my mother passed away, it was more a case of getting things organised, getting things set up. And foolishly, I felt like I had to be the strong person. I have an older sister, Stacey, and my father, so I felt like I had to be there for them. My father, I've known any different for however long he's known now, 20 odd, 30 years maybe. And my sister, who doesn't feel like they've got to protect his sister. But it was stupid really, because I didn't need to do that. They probably felt the same with me. They had to protect us. So I don't think I grieved probably right at the start, because it just didn't feel real. It was a hard time obviously, but it just didn't feel real. Obviously I had days where something could happen, or I would find something that would remind me of it and make me upset, but never really accepted it. I went back to work probably 3-4 weeks after. Didn't have very long off the time, and I felt like I was ready to go back. I felt like I needed to go back, but in hindsight I went back too early really. I wasn't in work very long before I ended up taking 6 months off work, but that's when the depression hit in. It's a strange feeling, depressed. You're screaming at yourself in your head saying, get up, get out, get on, and you scream at yourself, but your body doesn't move. It doesn't move. There's something else there that stops you doing it. you wake up in the morning, you feel tired. No matter how much sleep you get, you just feel tired. Energy to just do the most basic things just seems impossible. You know, just anything. Can mean have breakfast in the morning. You don't even you get to the point you just don't even think about it. It's just anything. It just gets so hard to do. And whilst you're dealing with that, you're also so you go in one head thinking I can't be bothered to do anything. I'm depressed. I got no energy to do anything. And the other part screaming at yourself saying, "Do it. Just get up and do it. You know you've got to do it. Otherwise you're always going to be like this." So it's constant battle in your head, which, in my opinion, that's where the tired feeling comes from. You know, when you're constantly fighting a battle that you can't beat because you're fighting against yourself, it's so tiring. I still obviously miss my mother. It still affects me now, as I said. It's not something that ever goes away. People say time heals. I don't believe in that. I think you just get better at dealing with it or covering it or however you manage the grief. It's really difficult to put into words really how depression feels. Everyone's supposed to be different, but it's just a constant battle. You're there just fighting against yourself for the most basic things you can imagine. I mean basic things that you can imagine. I did get over my depression through the help of my wife and from focusing on my career that I went into before, so I'm not going to go with that again. But yeah, so that was my deal with depression. It did affect me more than what I probably realised. I didn't see professional help at the time. Again, being a man, there's that stigma attached with it. I'm a man, I shouldn't have feelings, or I shouldn't need to go and get help. I should be able to just flick like that and do it, but it doesn't work like that. You do need help, whether that's doctors. I don't believe in tablets myself. Someone might come on and say, no, you're wrong, tablets are helpful. To me, it just masks over the problems you've got rather than get them out of you or to cope with those feelings. So yeah, my second sort of dealing then with mental health, it was a weird one, probably about 3-4 years ago. I just started to notice I felt lonely. Even if I was in a room with people, I'd feel lonely. I just felt reserved. Such a weird feeling. I don't know what the professional term for it would be, but I just felt so alone. I'd be in a room full of people, but the room would feel massive. The people would feel massive, and I would just feel like this insignificant person in this room where no one seemed to want to know. And that was even with my loved ones, my friends, my family. And it's not because of them at all. At the time you feel it's because of them. You think, oh, what's the matter with me? Why are you not bothering with me? Why are you not speaking to me? Or things like that. But it was nothing to do with them. It was obviously I was dealing with something. But this was probably one of the worst parts of my life when I had this. I friended another person who I was talking to, but not about this. It was just something like, oh my god, this person's talking to me. I kept it a secret that I was doing this, and my partner found out about it, and she thought there was more going on to the situation, which I get that. It was very secretive and stupid of me to do it, and why I kept it secret, I don't know. And 2 days before Christmas, when my wife found out, it was a different sort of thing to when my mother passed away. It was one of the worst times of my life. My own insecurities and my own issues could have completely ruined my family, ripped my family apart, and that's all I've ever wanted in my life, was my family and be able to look after and make sure my family were happy. So yeah, 2 days before Christmas, the night before Christmas Eve, I spent the night sleeping in my van because obviously I'd hurt my wife, which I never intended to do. Christmas Eve then was really difficult for me. I was sat in my van, just laying on my own. My kids always have what's called Christmas breakfast on Christmas Eve. It's just junk food, crap. It's just turned into a bit of a tradition. I just sitting in my van knowing that they were having that and I wasn't there. It was my fault. It made me feel so worthless as a person. No, it really did. Excuse me. And that was the lowest point I felt about myself in my life. I felt dreadful. I can understand why my wife thought that there was more going on than what it was. I knew that it wasn't, but I totally understand what she done, and I heard that, and that made me feel terrible to myself anyway. It got to the point where I thought, I'm I'm in a life where I'm hurting people, they'd be better off without me. And this is when I went to my darkest sort of point, where there's a place up in Brecon Mountains where I used to go to clear my head, and I drove up there. I walked to the edge and I thought about it. I scared myself within a split second of thinking about it, stepped back, and unfortunately my wife sensed that there was more to it than what it was, than just me sulking or me being caught. And she came up because she knew exactly where I'd be, and she brought me home. And I was never going to do it. I don't think I was. But I scared myself so much with just the thought of it. And I realised how selfish I'd probably been. But at that moment in time, you don't really think about it as being selfish. You don't really think at all. You just think you need an out. And you think if people will be better off without you, which they're not. They really ain't. So for a couple of weeks after that, months even, obviously it was building trust again in a relationship, getting over sorting out my own issues. And I did that with the support of my wife, who, I'll be honest, I didn't deserve. I didn't do nothing, but it was the fact that I hurt her. I didn't deserve that back from her. And I built the trust and the relationship back with my wife and my family. But that was my darkest ages, and like I said, I frightened myself so much. I would never allow myself to think those thoughts again. It was stupid. It was irresponsible and selfish of me to do that. My family mean more to me than anything in the world. You know, everything I do is for them. And the thought of leaving them in the position of me doing something like that, it just never will happen, and I never will think those thoughts again. So over time, like I said, I got past it. It was just such a weird feeling of being alone. But I said I did get past that. This time I did try tablets. I didn't agree with them. I didn't give them probably the chance I needed to, and I didn't seek professional help. Again, being a man, I think I thought I needed to snap out and get over it. But again, this whole process, my family didn't know too much about it. They probably do now. But my wife's family knew, obviously, because Jen was upset at the time, and even them were really supportive. So between everyone, I sort of got back to my usual self, which was good. And then my last dealings, which is currently what I sort of working out myself, has been going on for about 2 years. I've said previously, I slowly started to remove myself from social events, just going out with friends, interacting with other people. You know, if we'd go out in a group couple thing, I wouldn't really speak a lot. I would sort of keep myself refrained, and I thought it was strange, because anyone knows me or I've worked with in the past, I can't be a funny guy. I like pranks. I like a joke. I like a laugh. I don't get on with anyone. I think I'm a nice, polite person. So for me to go to that, it's got strange. But I couldn't click on. I didn't notice it at the time, and I didn't quite click. And then 7 months ago in January, I done a challenge for Mind called Red, Run Every Day. And when I was looking into that and posting up updates and looking at inspiration for that, I come across social anxiety. And it just sort of made sense to me then what I was doing, and I don't know why I was doing it, but it made sense to me what I was doing. I've since finding out about that, I have tried to get back out there, which I think I am. I'm interacting more with friends, trying to speak more with other people. So yeah, that's something that I'm dealing with. I'm still trying to work out why I done it. I'm not quite sure why, but I am trying to sort of get on top of that. The weird thing with it is, you can be out and you just think everyone's looking at you, talking about you negatively, always negatively, never positively. And you know, even if you look around and you catch you make eye contact with someone, you think, you know, why are you staring at me? What's so wrong with me? And someone who has insecurity issues from a child growing up, it did affect me more than what I realised until recently. And the most weird thing which has come out of our group session is, which I thought was just me being paranoid and weird, is the stupid scenarios you put in your head. You could be in a situation and you think the most random stupid scenarios that will never happen in a lifetime, but still they feel so real that something could, but normally bad things could happen in a situation where it just never would happen, but it feels so real to you as a person. But that's dwindling as well now, in all fairness. I don't really get that as nowhere near as much as what I was. I feel like I'm getting on top there now, which is great. But especially with the help of the group as well, that's been great, knowing that I'm not the only one feeling them. So how do my dealings affect my relationship with friends, family and co-workers? I start off with co-workers. They wouldn't have known really. At the time you don't realise, but you don't know how strong you are as a person to go into work or, you know, out and about and put a smile on and to try and persuade everyone that you're okay. And you do that because no one suspects any different from you. So my co-workers would never have known. Friends and family again, they wouldn't have known again for the same reasons that you put a face on. Again, the stigma, you feel like you're a man, you have to. When you don't, you can just put your hands up and say, I've got a mental health problem. Or you go to your doctors who can confirm with you. My biggest one is my relationship. It has affected my relationship over the years. I'm very fortunate to have a strong wife who's mentally strong and helps me through a lot. I don't tell her everything when I should. Again, it comes to that burden thing. You're a burden to people when you generally ain't. You're just someone who's suffering with an illness. Again, you don't choose to have mental illness. I mean, no one chooses to wake up every day and fight a constant battle with themselves. So, yeah, that's just an illness. So, a burden, sorry. You feel like you're a burden, and you don't want to offload to people you love. I don't know why that is. It's not just me. I think it's just a general nature of that. You'd rather speak to a stranger than you would just your closest person. So yeah, that's my deals with that. A support group, I think, would have helped me at the early part. Whether I'd have had the courage to stand up and walk into one of those groups, I don't know, because I don't know if I was ready to admit to myself that I had a problem. I think I would have used it in the long run. The group is fantastic because it gives you that option to speak without people seeing your face and your emotions if you don't feel comfortable, and hopefully that would, you know, could have built up the strength. And just having that contact, you know, the amount of speaking that we've done in the group so far is only little, but how is so many people from all over the country, all over South Wales mainly at the moment, have come forward and said, oh, I feel like that, I feel like that. Oh, I felt like I was the oddball out because I was feeling like that, and they're not, because other people feeling like it. So, yeah, I think a mental health support group would have helped massively to me, to be honest with you. And hopefully you can help others. So, that's my video, guys. That's my dealings with it. Like I said, I am in a good place now. I do feel like I'm above it. I do feel like if I can see the early parts of it kicking in, that I can sense it quite early, very early now, to be honest with you. I do have bad days where I lose a bit of motivation and that, but because I can recognise that these signs coming in early, I get on top of them straight away and I know to get up and get out. If I feel like I'm down, even if I didn't plan on going out, I will get up and get out. And 9 times out of 10 you will come back and you'll think to yourself, I'm glad I did, and you feel much better about it. I'm a strong believer in exercise and getting outdoors with mental health. It's a proven fact, it does help. So I do a lot of hiking, running, walking, anything really, just to get out to do things, and it does clear my head massively. I hope the video has inspired a few males out there. So we keep calling men's mental health, guys. You know, that's what it is, but you know, mental health can affect any age, so please don't be afraid to come forward. If you are a bit younger and you think, oh, am I too young for this? No, you're not. That's fine. Obviously, in our group, guys, there are some delicate stuff spoken about. If me and Gareth feel like we're not qualified, because we ain't professional anyway, to do it, we have a couple of mental health nurses who have offered to help us when they can, and we have contact details for Calm, which is a great charity, and Mind, which is another great charity for mental health, both mental health. So we will pass details on to you for contact them if you think it's a bit above what we're capable of dealing with. We do want to try and help as many people as we can, guys, but again, we're not professionals, so some things may be a bit above our skill level. So tomorrow now there'll be another one up. Gareth has come up tomorrow with his full video. So please tune in and watch it, guys. It takes a lot for myself, Gareth, and the other people who are lined up to do it. And do it. So if you can share the post, share the group, share the video, guys, and let's try and attract as many men as we can to feel comfortable and realise that they can speak up and talk. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.